Let's try this new tinted mineral sunscreen from Merit called the Uniform. It retails for $38 for 1.7 fluid ounces and comes in 15 shades. I got the fairest one in 30 Fair Cool. It claims to be buildable with a light as air formula and a sheer natural skin finish. It is 100% mineral zinc oxide active and non-comedogenic and oil-free with zero white cast. Let's go ahead and try it with a brush and we will see what is the best way to apply this. So far the brush seems to be working really well. I'm really pushing it into the skin to get good even coverage because it does have a little bit of drag and viscosity to it because, you know, it's a sunscreen. I think that looks fantastic. It is very glowy even with the brush. So on the other side, which has nothing on it, you can see in comparison. Let's go ahead and try using fingers because a lot of times that is how you put on a tinted sunscreen. And I want to see if there is a difference in how it applies. Honestly, I think the brush looks a lot better because it allows you to blur it just a little bit more. So I'm going to stick with the brush. Let's go ahead and fix it on this side. And I'm going to use my Stands Out sponge just to tamp down any of that extra dewiness. This is a very moisturizing, very wet formula. Okay, so not very much coverage. That's okay. They don't say that there is. It's just, you know, basically a tinted sunscreen. Very glowy still. It borders on sticky. It's not sticky, but it is dewy. It's wet. It's definitely wet. This for me absolutely has to be set down. And all of my spots under my eyes, everything, I need some extra coverage. So I'm actually going to use one of their the Merit sticks, which is what they suggest you use, of course, because it's their product. And we're going to use that as basically the extra cover up that I need. I really shouldn't put this under my eyes. I know this doesn't do great under my eyes, but I'm gonna do it just a little bit and then I'll probably follow up with my Natasha Denona because I know that one's pretty safe. But yeah, I've got a little hormonal spots going on, so we're gonna go ahead and give that a cover up and we'll blend that in and I'll be right back. So right away, I will say that these two products work really well together because they are both very soft, dewy, really like easy to work with. Another thing I would definitely say is when you're working with both of these products, you get the best out of a denser brush and pushing it into your skin. It's not like it doesn't drag real well. However, it does blend pretty well if you push it in and use a good dense brush to like a kabuki style brush to basically do your blending. Otherwise, it ends up being too glowy and it picks up the texture. That's where I find I really need to powder this one. Still poking through here and my under eyes are always a little dark, so I am going to finish those up with my Natasha Denona and then we will be back for powder. Okay, so I have all of my concealer on. It was kind of a lot of work because I feel like I'm working wet into wet. There's a lot more coverage on my face than the actual product provides. Obviously because I've had to add so much other stuff. You know, I have the Merit stick and then I also have my concealers and my Natasha Denona concealer. I also have like a little just like spot concealer and then a powder concealer to set those because it is so wet. So if you're having troubled skin already, this is oily or troubled skin, very textured skin. This I think is going to be a challenge for you. You know, this is not unusual unless it's sort of a silicone based sunscreen. Anything with sunscreen in it usually is a bit on the quote unquote glowy side, which can be beautiful, but it also can not set down, accentuate texture. So we're gonna go ahead and powder this. I actually really like the way this ends up looking on me, but there's a lot of work to get there because I do have the drier skin now, but I also have textured skin. I have a lot of stuff to cover up. So you'll see, it wears really well, but boy, is it a lot of work. So let's go ahead and powder. I am using the Makeup by Mario Fair to Pink. This is the closest I've gotten to the finish that I used to get from the Givenchy. I really like this one. It's not quite as good, but it is really darn close. Very similar kind of finish where it gives you a little bit of coverage and color, but not too much. And it just has this very refined, you know, blurring sort of finish. It's not super drying. It doesn't leave you looking cakey or dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll take a look at it. So here's what it looks like powdered. My face will look a lot better once I get the rest of my makeup on. This is kind of just like a big white face, but now it is not so sticky. However, it doesn't feel too dry, so that is nice. It actually moisturizes your face. My face doesn't feel tight, it doesn't feel gooey with the powder on, and it just, I think it feels and looks really natural. So let me go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then we'll talk about it and we'll get the wear test started. Okay, so makeup is on. I feel like I had to put so much like different kinds of powders on. I still feel like I see more texture than I normally would. However, my face feels very moisturized. It feels very comfortable. So I don't know. I know I've worn this several days and I know that it's comfortable and that in natural light it looks really pretty good. It takes so much work for me to get there, and I'm still seeing, at least in person, I'm seeing a lot of shadowing from texture, and I don't know, it's just I think because I have to put so much other stuff on to get the coverage that I really want, I tend to end up a little cakier, maybe a little more textured than I would like. So I feel like there's just like a lot of push-pull back and forth. The color is really good. I mean, this is a perfect color for me, and I think it's gonna work for, I mean, this is like their only really fair color. I do think because the coverage is so like not there that it's gonna work for a lot of people, so you know, that's fine. It's a mineral sunscreen, so in general, me and mineral sunscreens, because of the texture or the smell, this one really doesn't have a smell, so yay, I appreciate that. It tends to not be the most flattering choice for my skin. It just never has. I really prefer a chemical sunscreen. They don't bother me. So in general, this is not going to be something that I would reach for. It's SPF 45, that's pretty good for mineral. You know, let's go ahead and do the wear test. I'll show you how it wears and why I'm a little torn on this one. I can already tell you that for me, I'm gonna keep trying it because it does have some good things about it, but it's definitely not, it's so much work for me to get it to look good. And then it does look good, but it's so much work. It's not gonna be something that I reach for. However, I will say that when I go through like a really dry phase, which I have been with trying new skincare products and also with my hormones changing, it's really nice and moisturizing, and it does not leave you looking dry and worse. As much as I like the new Prada, or well, newish Prada, and the newish Maybelline Lumimatte, I love both of these, but if I'm having a really bad, really dry day and I have not moisturized and I don't have something glowy on underneath them, they in real life can look pretty crusty. I've had a few mishaps with that just because I've been wearing it so much. So it really depends on how your skin is doing. So right now my skin has been dry, it has been sort of problematic. So something like this, even though it's a lot of work, I have been ending up with a better skin day at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and run this skin test and I can show you what I'm talking about. And just because everybody asks, on the lips, I am using the new Merit lip liner in Mayfair. Really, really love these still. And I went ahead and splurged and tried the new Dior Lip Glow Butters. I don't like the Dior lip oils at all. However, these lip glow butters, they are so nice. I have to say, they're really, really nice. So that's what I have on top of this lip liner. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get this wear test started, and I will stop blabbing. All right, here's right after application in real light. This glow is highlighter. Up here is the glow that I think is really coming through from the product itself. So that gives you a little more of an idea of that. So if you like that diffuse glow that comes from underneath, this definitely will give you that, even with, this is a nice dry finish, as long as you put a bunch of powder on. So, okay. Okay, this is 2 hours in, not a lot of change, a little more dew, like kind of starting in my T-zone, but that's normal for me. Still looks really healthy, I think. Okay, 5 hours in. So definitely more dew. I am getting oily here. It was humid today, so that's probably part of it. But this is actually dewier than I have been on all of my previous tests, so I don't know. Okay, so it is 8 hours. We made it to 8 hours, and a lot of it has really come off. I am very dewy at this point. Today was a pretty humid day, so I am a lot greasier and dewier than I normally would be. However, I have to say, like, a lot of people purposely will make their faces look like this. It is not for me, but this is not bad. It is not, like, I don't see it, it's not broken up anywhere. It just looks like I am an oily skin person, you know, a very, very dewy person. I feel like it has rubbed away here, probably just from touching it. And then honestly, I've lost, there we go. Yeah, I mean, we're at the point where I'm so oily that if I touch it, it just sort of goes away. Now, like, it was really hard for me not to fix this today because normally I would have touched this up. I think it would have been really easy to touch up and it would have been just fine. But in moving this around, I lose coverage of all of my little problem spots for sure. But it doesn't have that like gross broken up, like you need to, you know, like chunks of it here and like that. It really just looks like you're kind of greasy, but you still have a lot of coverage. I actually feel a little dry underneath up here, so some of this is probably just my skin. But overall, like, this is not bad. So, not my first choice just because of my skin type and my skin issues, and in general, I don't like anything that goes on too dewy and that I have to control with powder, because that looks really nice at the very beginning, but it only lasts maybe 2 or 3 hours like that for me, and then my natural oils start to poke through and it doesn't look so good after that. So if you're one of those people with very dry skin, you don't get dewy, you really, really like a mineral sunscreen, you really don't want to do a chemical sunscreen, this is a great tinted sunscreen option. That's really what this is. It's not really a foundation. It's a tinted sunscreen, which, you know, that's what it was pretty much advertised to be. And Merit usually does these very sort of elevated natural looks, and this definitely is perfect for that kind of line. So if you like that kind of thing, especially if you have dry skin, you're gonna love this. If you have that like just legitimate like normal to dry skin, it's probably gonna look pretty good on you. I think you're gonna really like it. It is a really good no makeup look. It is very hydrating, but not like in a bad way. It makes your skin feel really good. I would definitely say that if you were an oily skin person, this is not gonna be for you. You are not gonna get very long wear out of this at all. You're gonna have to powder a lot. And then you kind of lose that like really nice skin tint feeling that you were going for if you're just got powder upon powder. Lots of concealer and all that kind of stuff. So like if you have lots of issues kind of like me, it's just not the best choice, especially for the price. If you want a skin tint that performs sort of similar but doesn't have the SPF in it, the L'Oreal skin tint is probably still one of the better ones that I think still works for oily skin, and it's not quite as expensive as this one. Two Korean style ones that I think the finish is really, really similar. We have the Tier Mask Fit, and I get this in, I think it's called beige, and this one has that same glow it's a tone-up essence is what they call it. So it does give you a little bit of like a little bit of evening out of your tone and color. So, but it's very, very light, very similar to the Merit. Has that glow similar to the Merit. When your skin is really dry, this looks amazing on your skin. I think this one's better about not picking up quite so much texture, and when you powder this down, it is chef's kiss. Looks like the best skin. This is one of my favorites for powdering down, and a little bit of SPF. It's only 25 though, so you know it's fine. And then Beauty of Joseon just came out with a skin tint also, and theirs is SPF 40 and it's zinc, so I believe that that is a mineral sunscreen, unless I am incorrect, but it says that's the active ingredient is zinc. If you really wanted a different kind of mineral sunscreen, this is about half the price of the Merit. Very similar texture and the way it goes on and the finish that you get for it. The colors in this are really pretty. Two other options if you are looking for an SPF skin tint that is not maybe this one, but works kind of the same, has the same finish, and are both of them are about half the price of this one. So very, very similar and all really, really good. So, okay, so overall, this one is a no for me just because of what I like on my skin. I can't say that it made my skin look bad though. It really didn't. I don't like putting on something that is so sort of reflective that I have to spend a lot of time covering up and powdering down all of my little issues, which I'm just, you know, it's me, I'm gonna have them. Apparently, even after menopause, like especially after menopause, I'm still breaking out a lot, like here and there as we were trying to get my HRT correct. So kind of is what it is. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. I know a lot of people are going to be curious about this one. Merit hasn't come out with something like this, I don't think, before. So this is a really nice new, you know, very natural skin sort of offering from them. And I do think it's really nice, but you have to really embrace the glowy sort of finish, which honestly, when I see the pictures and the video of myself wearing it, I'm like, yeah, that looks really good. The experience of being a little bit dewier and walking past mirrors and catching the kickback from the dew, that's not my favorite. I really like a nice, soft, natural matte finish for my particular self. And then I'll just add a little bit of highlighter. So not for me, but I think a lot of you might really like this. Okay, unless you're oily. If you're oily, just don't. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or if you've tried it. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Leave everything below, and I try to get back to everybody. It's taking me a little bit longer right now just because I kind of have a backlog from when I wasn't feeling so good. So I try to get back to everybody. So go ahead and leave comments. I do want to chat with you. Okay, if you like this kind of content and you haven't already subscribed, I sure would appreciate a like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel to grow, and I appreciate you guys being here. Also, you might want to hit the notification bell just to get notified every time I upload, and I try to upload weekly. I have been doing a lot more shorts lately just because that's something that I can put out so I can share with you, because I have a pile of stuff, all the new stuff that's coming out. I've tried almost all of it. I just haven't had the energy or the ability to put together one big video. In fact, I think the next like cool tone video I'm going to do, it's going to be so ginormous at this point. I may break it into several different videos, like blush, eyeshadow, and lip products, because there's just so much new out there, and that does have cool tone options that I do want to share with you. So yeah, also let me know down there if you would prefer it broken up or just one huge like cool tone extravaganza. I can do either. It's a little easier for me to break them up just because of the file size. When you start getting to the bigger, longer videos, the file sizes get to be huge and it just takes forever to upload. So it might actually, I might just break it up. Anyway, discuss below. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.